Hey everyone, and welcome to today's tutorial. So this is what my favorite page style 26 looks like, which is the first page style in this year's Advent Calendar series. Okay, so let's just start with the tutorial for today. And the first step we always need to do for any of those page styles is to cut and score our cardstock as well as our pattern papers. And for the measurements, you can refer to the cutting guides and templates which are available in my Etsy store for different album sizes. And when I cut my cardstock and pattern paper, I always like to label all the elements I have cut. So this is just an example on how to use your cutting guides for cutting and scoring your cardstock and pattern papers, and then after scoring you can go ahead and do the next step. So the next step for this page style is to attach tape right next to the scoring lines. So we have already scored our cardstock and now we can take our 3/8 of an inch tape, so at least that's what I like to use, and you just want to make sure that you place it on this little flap we have created with scoring, and you just place it right next to the scoring lines without actually covering the scoring lines. And after attaching our tape, we want to cut off the corners of the little flaps we created with scoring. So for this, I like to turn around my cardstock and then I get my small scissors and I just cut it at an angle right next to the scoring lines. And just make sure that you don't accidentally cut into the scoring lines, but just next to them. Once you have cut off the corners, you can go ahead and actually fold up the little flaps we created. And for this, turn around your cardstock because you don't want to fold it up on the side where you scored it or where you placed the tape on. So we want to fold it on the back side. And then I also like to get my bone folder and burnish it down. And now that we have created those little flaps, we can actually go ahead and attach our cardstock element A and cardstock element B to our basic page. And when attaching pockets, I always like to remove half of the tape backing from the flap which is on the bottom of the pocket. And then I just hold up the sticky side and I use the non-sticky side, so the side which still has the tape backing on, to actually align the cardstock element to the edges of the basic page. And once I found the right position, I can go ahead and remove the rest of the tape backing while pressing down the cardstock element. And now that the bottom of the pocket is attached, you can just go ahead and remove the tape backing from the sides, and then you can attach the sides to the basic page as well. And after attaching any cardstock element, I like to get my bone folder and burnish it down. And then to attach cardstock element A, I also remove just half of the tape backing and then I hold up the sticky side, and now I want to align cardstock element A with the opening of the pocket of cardstock element B, and then I try to find the right position and I go ahead and stick it down and remove the rest of the tape backing. And for this page style, I decided to actually decorate the corners of the pattern papers a little bit, but this is of course optional, so you can just skip this step if you like to. But I decided to get one of my corner punch tools and I just punched the bottom corners of pattern paper A. And then we can cover our cardstock elements with the coordinating pattern papers. So we can cover cardstock element A with the pattern paper A, and then cardstock element B with pattern paper B. For this, I like to use wet glue because then I'm still able to move around the pattern paper and find the right position so that I have an even border around my pattern paper. And because I noticed that I used a little bit too much glue, I got my glue eraser and I just removed all the glue marks on the border. And then we also need to cover up our basic page by using the pattern paper for the basic page. So again, I take my red glue and then I place the pattern paper for the basic page onto the basic page. And then we also want to cover up our cardstock element A by using pattern papers A. So we want to attach pattern paper to the inside of the flap. And then the last cardstock element we need to add pattern paper to is cardstock element C. And cardstock element C is required for this page style because you want this photo mat to actually keep the flap of the pocket closed. And then I also added some enamel dots to those corners we have punched before. So that's actually it for today's page style, and as you can see, we have created a beautiful pocket, and you can just remove the first photo mat, and then of course behind the flap closure, so into the pocket, you can add more than just this one photo mat. So I added some photo booklets in which you can keep photos, as well as a journaling tag to my pocket here. And then you can just close up the flap closure and place cardstock element C inside, so this keeps it closed. So yeah, I really hope that you enjoyed today's tutorial. And if you did so, I would love to get your feedback in the comment box down below. And of course, it would also mean a lot to me if you could give this video a like, a thumbs up, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. So I hope that you are having a great day, and I would love to see you in my next video.